Hey guys, we are back with another PDOCS live stream series here, and my apologies. Excuse me one second. My apologies again for missing. I had this lesson all set up for last week, and unfortunately, I was sick Wednesday and Thursday and didn't work either day. So I put it off till today. But this should be a really, really good one. Um, I just want to start with this is a resource. What's on my screen now, and they look the same just because the image at the top. But what's on my screen now is a resource that my private CAM students get. And basically, the reason for today's topic is a couple things. I mean, number one, that's been consistently, since I've gotten this space, that's been consistently the most common thing that people struggle with, get frustrated with. I would venture to say just don't do consistently, which I have no control over that aspect. That's on each of you guys individually and yourselves being, self accountable, right? But how I made my first million plus in this game was all through organic and DM setting and nothing else. There was no VAs, there was no ads, there was no extra marketing and MVPs, and none of that stuff came in until I had already done over a million in just DM setting and effective organic outreach. So I've continued to do that well beyond that, in addition to, now I have DM setters, I've worked with VAs, I have mutually beneficial partnerships, we run multiple companies, we run ads, right? So now I have all kinds of things going on, which is great, but, a lot of people still start here. A lot of people should still be doing organic and DMing, even if they do have some of those other avenues open. And again, the reason I really selected what I'm going to go over here in today's lesson for today is because, as you see number 5 on my screen right here, the 3 best videos and tutorials that I've created that I give to my private clients. And these aren't paid resources. These are on my YouTube channel for free. Now, some of these things above are paid. And if you're in my CAM program and you've never seen this doc, or you don't have access to my PDOCS method blueprint or the organic implementation guide, just DM me or message me privately, or on tonight's private client call, I can send it to you, what have you. But basically, I took my best 3 organic YouTube trainings, both by the feedback I've gotten, by the number of views they've gotten, and then condensed it down and made it a little more modern with some newer examples, maybe since I've recorded those. So kind of the best of what's included in those 3 tutorials I've lumped into what I'm going to cover here today. And that goes back to this document. So what we really want to highlight here is the most effective aspects of Facebook organic outreach that lead to monetization the fastest. And then part of that, and you see number 2 on the screen already, being the cold DM framework. And what I want to say, I mean, this says Facebook organic outreach, right? Now, this is going to be really, really relevant on damn near every platform. Just every platform has its own nuances and intricacies that are a little different, right? We probably know Instagram and TikTok are more short form video content, whereas, Facebook might be more longer form and more text content. LinkedIn, more, professional business content, right? So each platform has its own nuances, intricacies, etc. But these methods and strategies and approaches don't really change per se. But anyway, I've had the most success on Facebook. I've done it the most on Facebook personally. So that's what we're going to talk about and I'm going to cover here today. So first, I want to start with talking about the targeting approach that I use, and I like to call my sniper targeting approach. And what I always say is quality over quantity, right? Think 15 requests per day as opposed to 50 or 100, and the same or better results than you're getting by sending those 50 to 100 messages. And that's kind of what I'm going to cover with A, B, C, and D below here, how and where I target these people. And only one of these, D, and is not even required, but I would recommend it, highly recommend it, but only D actually requires creating content or posts yourself. The other 3 are ways to be growing my network, having people to be DMing, having constant prospects, and just constantly be growing my network and having a pool of people to talk to without creating any content, right? And I'm going to bring up some live examples. By the way, if you're tuning in, I will check the comments here periodically, so if you have any questions, comments, takeaways, I'd love to see them below when I go back and, check that here momentarily, but I just want to kind of dive into the lesson aspect because I have kind of a lot to cover here today. So I have examples of all these things, but the 4 ways that I have the best success and more specified, I should say, and why I call this the sniper targeting approach is because a lot of the times we're just doing general outreach. We're just adding people to our network where in many cases they might not be our ideal client, the people we want to be adding. They might just, they might just have some similarities, but they might, and then in some cases they're just totally not relevant or not applicable at all. Like, I streamline this down to everybody I send a friend request to, I know has a great chance to be an ideal client, or in some cases I'm sending out friend requests to forge partnerships, whatever my objective is. But I know before I ever send a request that the person is likely going to be able to benefit from my product, services, companies, offers, content, all those type of things, right? So, we could start by using, and people think this is dated, and when I first got in this game in 2019 is really full time. Where I first got in this game, probably 2020 is where I really excelled in using other Facebook groups to grow my business, and I've never stopped doing it. I've just found more effective ways than maybe I did, 5 years ago. So again, as much as you might think like going in and using other Facebook groups is dated, it's not. I mean, it is, but it's not if you're doing it effective and differently than most, and you know what's going to work before you go do it. There's a lot of frustrating things and a lot of the wrong things that I wouldn't focus on that I'm not going to talk about here today. But if you do it in a very direct, strategic approach, it still works very, very well. So again, Facebook groups I'm talking about here, this could be any groups. There's a lot of new platforms, right? There's school, I could go on and on, whether it's other social media platforms, whether it's other, platforms such as school, things like that. There's all kinds of places where they have groups, and what they've done is get your ideal audience right within one community. What I like to do is utilize the welcome post specifically, and I'm going to go through an example of that and actually bring it up on my screen and what I mean by that. I'm just going to cover all four of these really, really quick, and then I'm going to go down and bring up some examples. Number two, we could use colleague or competition posts and content they're creating. Number three, see here, we could be using competitor ads, and we could be creating our own value post or value comments on other people's posts to create engagement. So before we go into number 2 and 3 on this thing, the DM framework and the Facebook group, or the, whatever group funnel monetization, it could be school, could be other communities or other places you have groups. Let's go through some of the examples that I covered there. So, for instance, let me start off with number 1. I talked about welcome posts. So what I mean by that is when we go into any group specifically, and let's give this a second to load here. When we go into any group specifically, generally speaking, I would say usually it's, early on in the week, like Mondays, they'll do something like that, but they'll do a welcome post. I don't know why this one isn't loading right now. I'm sure you guys all know what a welcome post is, but it's weird that this one wouldn't load. Okay. Did it load right as I hit the X? Oh, darn it. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. It was just something's delayed, and maybe because the live stream I'm running. Let me try that one more time. And this time I'll just be a little more patient. But yeah, the welcome posts and why I like using these. Number 1, this group has already, whether they're running ads, whether they're doing it organically, they're already growing, and then they're telling you, hey, here's about 100 new members that are brand new to our group. Now, if we're in the right groups that are adding our ideal clients, could be anything. We could be in groups for roofers, for doctors, for dentists. This one, and Nothing Held Back, as many of you guys may know, is digital business owners, coaches, consultant, agencies, freelancers, etc., etc. So, if you think about it, what they're doing here, and what I love about this group specifically, I would call this a higher level, higher sophistication group by far. And this whole lesson's not about that. I have other ones on it, but we really want to know the sophistication level of the audience within anything we're doing. But specifically, not specifically anything we're doing. I'm not even gonna pre-reference that. So they have a lot of content and value that they drop in their welcome post, more than almost any other group. But here, let's just say that they've gathered, looks like probably more than 100, but let's just say here they've gathered 100 plus names. Now, why I like using these posts is a couple reasons. Number 1, Again, they've spent time, money, and effort to bring your ideal audience, if you're in the right groups, right here. Number two, these people are all brand new to this group, which means they don't have any loyalty here quite yet. They haven't got a lot of value from this group. They don't really know much about it, and they're not super loyal to it. So depending on what my objective is, a lot of times my goal is going to be take people from here, start conversation with them, and merge them into my group, and then use what I'm going to cover number three here today, my group funnel strategy on how I kind of get them to a call. The conversation might lead right into a call or a booking or an offer, but most often I'm going to have kind of a soft call to action. But again, I'm going to just kind of hover over their profiles. And a lot of times, because I think Facebook shows a little less here now when I hover over than it used to. So a lot of times I might actually click on their profile and go look at it a little more. But I'm looking for a couple specific things. And this is a good example. So I'm going to add this one. She's founder at Kira Perkins, probably a coach consultant. And again, I could go click on her profile and find out more, which I would normally do, but I'm just trying to keep this quick. But it already shows me a couple things. She's got a couple mutual friends in the industry, which generally speaking, for me, somebody who's more established and has a larger network, generally speaking, when I'm looking to add people off lists like this, I want people with 10 or less mutual friends. Generally speaking, again, there's always going to be outliers to everything, but generally speaking, 10 or more friends, especially when they get up to 20, 30, 50, 100 plus, those are people that have been in this space a long time. They probably already are more established. They probably already have, contacts, or they're already working with coaches or agencies or mentors. But people that have less mutual friends, generally speaking, are newer in this space. Don't have quite as much experience, contacts, a network, might not already be working with somebody. So that would be somebody I would go click and add. Now, again, normally I'd like to go over their profile and do a little more what I always do on these lists is what I call stereotyping their profile, right? So I want to understand if they're a good fit. And normally I can tell by going and looking at their profile, right? Most people's Facebook profile, there's four key components to understand if it's really primed and they're actually using it to monetize and to market, or if they're just using it as a social media platform and more for cat videos and family stuff, right? Most people, when they get online, they want to grow a following or they want to be able to monetize their social media platform. But if their profile's not primed, that's kind of my first thing in the door when I reach out to them. Hey, it looks like you are a service provider and you're trying to, get their message out there, but you're not really primed your profile for success. You want some pointers on that and just start off delivering them value. What I mean by the four components I'm usually looking for is, do they have a dialed in cover photo that, actively represents their offer, their brand? Do they have a professional or a relatable profile picture? Do they have a dialed in bio or tagline? Do they have a good call to action within their about section, a link to their landing page, to their funnel, to their free resource, whatever? Hopefully, and this is the one I like to use least, you don't just drop your booking link in there, because believe it or not, 99% of people that add you on Facebook and go through your about section are never just going to click and book a call. That's not the best call to action. You want something that's going to deliver value, educate, right? Do all the intended purposes of a lead magnet, or things that are going to make somebody more problem aware, solution aware, aware of results or outcomes you deliver. But anyway, I go into here, and if somebody else is gathering 100 plus names every week, and this is just one group, imagine if I did this in 10 different groups, and I just, let's say I find 20 or 30 people on this list, which is probably pretty easy out of 100 plus. That's my friend requests really for more than, what I recommend, and I'll talk about the metrics if I have time, this is what I've seen success with. Instead of those 50 to 100 DMs and friend requests that, some coach told you to send, or some guru that you watched, right? What if you could do 15 friend requests, 10 new DMs, a total of 20 DMs, and maybe 2 to 3 posts per day, and get as good of better results than doing 50 to 100 connections and DMs. So again, if I can go above and beyond, that's great. Or maybe I can, set myself up and do all my friend requests for the week in one shot. But at minimum, or my KPI is about 15 new requests sent per day, which is easy to find right here on this list. So that could be place number one. And initially, all I want to do is send a friend request and wait for it to get accepted. Then I will do some outreach, and we'll get to that when I get to, more of my voice note thing on this. But I just want to make sure I have time to go through all this. So that was a good example of the welcome post. Now let's talk about some organic competition or competitors or colleagues, and how I utilize their content and their posts. Again, these are all ways when I'm thinking, especially on a day where I wake up and I don't have anything planned. Before, I had a more professional social media strategy and department, and I was just creating posts on a daily basis and thinking of it, when I woke up. There's days, you just don't feel like creating posts. Maybe your creative juices aren't flowing. A post doesn't hit, whatever. So these are all ways without creating content that I can go get results. So I see an internet influencer and marketing and sales coach. Hey, the internet made him rich for eating chicken wings. You can claim your piece of the internet money pie too without stuffing your face. Want to learn how? Comment, ATM in the comments below. Right? So I like the post because it's short, right to the point, and he's kind of using a bit of humor. Hey, you can make money eating chicken wings or doing this or doing that. Let me show you how else you can make money. So now everybody that comments below, what do I already know about them? They're looking to make money online. Who do I work with primarily? People looking to make money online. Now, I have a few different offers and brands and companies, so I can help people with the organic marketing side of things. I can help them with the sales side of things. I can help them with the ad side. I can help them with data, right? I can help in a lot of areas, but first I need to connect with people that are looking for strategies and ways to make money, whether that's starting from scratch. Some of my offers do that. Whether it's I'm at a certain level and want to get to the next level, some of my offers do that. Whether I'm looking to, cut my costs and get more profitable ads, some of my offers and products do that. So initially, I'm just going through, and again, everybody that commented here, I'm going to kind of stereotype their profile. And again, a guy with 149 friends, I'm not going to send a connection request to. And again, guys, these are older posts that I'm bringing back examples of that I just had already saved in on this sheet, as you can see. So these aren't even new. Mark I've been good friends with for a long time, and we've had lots of conversations both on and offline. But again, just go through. There's 5 mutual friends. Owner and CEO, works as head operations. Cool. He has some cool stuff. So this is somebody I would add and then move into my DM outreach approach, which is the next step, and we'll get into that. Kirsch, I've been on sales calls and worked with him for quite a while. Cool to see him still around and commenting. I think he's been through Dan's programs before, and I worked with him in a couple capacities. Hopefully you're doing well, Kirsch, if you see this or you're watching. I always thought that guy was very, very smart. Hopefully he's crushing it right now in whatever he's doing. But again, so many people here. Let's just go back up and look at the metrics really quick. So we see 130 comments, and let's say we disregard half of those where Dan or his VA or his DM setter replied. Let's even say that there's 65 comments. Cool, I got 65 people down here that commented and raised their hand saying, hey Ray, I'm looking to make money online. I didn't have to put any effort to gather them here and get them to raise their hand, but now I'm going to take advantage of this. So these are all opportunities that we overlook all the time, guys, that we scroll past and we just never really even think about. Let's go to, what was my third one up there? See, competitor ads. Okay, competitor ads. Who do we want to use here? Competitor ads. I have 2. Let's pick the top one. I don't even remember what this is off the top of my head, but not going to really matter in my opinion. Okay, so this was one that I would have looked at for my sales lab offer and, well, my sales lab company. I have multiple offers, but my setter's working on that specifically. When these hit my feed, they already know the process, which I'm going to share with you guys really quickly. It's similar to what I've talked about already on the other things, so it's not rocket science, but I would just go share this post in the thread with my setters, and then they would kind of attack it. So I see this one has 63 comments, right? The ad says our setters closers perform or you don't pay. So they obviously, and most people know who Cole Gordon and his company are. These are all people that are, again, probably, let's go look at the comments, but most of these are people probably saying, hey, I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, or I'm a business owner looking for you to find coaches, to find reps for my business, which is what one of my offers does. So all these people down here. And the weird thing I see a lot of times in the paid ads specifically, which I'm seeing here, is people will raise their hand saying, I'm interested. Nobody has replied to them. So I don't know why this is. We're never going to know. People are people. If they're so interested, yeah, they could just click the ad, and that's common sense, and you would think so. But many people don't want to click the ad or don't for whatever reason and just go comment. So first off, if this was my ad, I would be on the engagement and replying. But since they're not, I could reply here. I would add this guy as a friend. Boom. Then I would reply to his comment saying, hey man, I saw now this is a year old, his comment at this point. So that's why I'm not actually going through and doing it. But I would have replied, hey man, you mentioned being interested. Did anybody comment? Or did anyone from the team here? Or did anyone reach out to you? I wouldn't even say from the team, because then it looks like you're working for them. Now, 2 things could happen. They could just come back saying, hey, no one reached out. yada, yada, yada. Or they might say, do you work for them? If they do, no, I don't work for them, but I found it interesting that nobody replied. I actually run a similar program where I place and train closers. So are you more looking for placement or more looking for reps in your business? And then just dive right into what they're looking for. People will totally respect that. And then I've had so many people that I've done this to saying, damn, that's such a good idea, Ray. I should have my competitors' ads and see who's interested and reach out to them. I was like, yeah, you should, right? It's very, very simple. So number one, it's simple. Number two, it's brilliant. And number three, it's effective. These are people, again, that somebody else already spent the money, put together the creative, put together the copy, all this stuff to actually get engagement and get people here. But then so many of these, I don't even see one that they've actually replied to, right? How quickly do you get up to speed with the nuances of the industry? Would you work with a private aviation company? So no reply here. I would have got back to them. Hey, did anyone get back to you yet? I don't see any replies here. No, no one did. Hey, tell me more about the private aviation company. What's your offer and how's that priced? Once I know the price point, I'm probably more suited to know if I can really help with that type of offer. So on and so forth. So again, using competitor ads, and I'm trying not to spend too much time on each one of these. I could probably talk forever on these things. Let's go into the last one. The last one is kind of twofold, right? If you go back up to number D here, should say letter D, value posts and comments. So I just want to show you an example of each. Value post I created. It'll probably take a minute to load again, and just in case, I like to do this at least twice throughout the live stream. Let me just take a look here and see if there's any current comments, questions, or anybody watching that's getting some good takeaways. Or you could just comment live down there below. Let me know that you're here and watching. I have a feeling there will probably be more interest here on the replay, which usually happens. Matter of fact, oh, cool, that's a good example. I'll save that. I saw a new member request, and I'm going to talk about that, so I'll save that example to show you. So I do see a few comments there. Yep, good group. Yeah, it is a very good group, JP. I've not posted my offer there yet. I was thinking about publishing it into an intro post. Hey, JP, keep watching. The next thing this one on my screen is a post that I created in that group with value. Do it, JP. Good encouragement, Rebecca. He should do it. This group is highly sophisticated. Yeah, he's spot on. Very highly sophisticated, which is why I'm very careful about what I post in there. Love it. Great way to gain new clients. Good. I'm glad you guys are getting some good takeaways there. I'll go back and check that at least one more time. So if you have any other questions or anything else to add, that'd be great. But here's me going into that group and doing what I call a value post. So let me go through it real quick and then break down kind of the strategy behind it. I see a lot of members posting in here asking for feedback regarding their offers. After crafting 300 plus high ticket offers for clients and students, as well as for ourselves, I can tell you right away that this is the first and perhaps most important exercise you, the business owner, should do. To build a good offer, no matter the price, you need to be able to identify and define these 6 things in 1 to 2 sentences tops before you go any further in your business. So then I give away the value with some examples. What are the 6 criteria and what are some examples? Sorry, my mouse scrolled like crazy. And then I go back in to give a little more value at the end. Tip 2, now that you know this, remember the 4 P's that go into the offer. How it's packaged, position, price, and perceived value. Hope you all find this valuable. Hey, somehow comments either got deleted or erased, because when I looked last time there was 27. This is an older post, so it did have better engagement. I don't know if some got erased, deleted, maybe when people leave the group, or maybe because I only have on most relevant. But anyway, 75 or so likes. I know it had 27 comments. I don't know what happened. I haven't checked this in a while. Maybe if it all comments that changes. No, it must be that people left. But either way, I knew, and my strategy behind this is, number one, I do see a lot of people asking about that, and there's no way this isn't high-level information, even though it's early on in the process when crafting somebody's offer. This is still really, really valuable, and any of my private clients that I've run through this exercise, it really helps me shape their offer. I'm also adding a little authority by crafting over 300 high-ticket offers for clients and students, right? That's kind of saying, hey, this isn't the first time I've done this. I've kind of seen what works. And then the tip at the end, just to top it off with some more authority and some more value. So the replies were like, hey, complete fire here. This is so insane, brother. Hey, I watched the whole 43-minute review. It was great. Have you worked with hundreds of clients? Oh, as you've worked with hundreds of clients, what funnel building software, right? And I don't even remember where these conversations went. This post is about a year old now. I told them we use both. Over the years, we've used Kajabi and Kartra and a few others too. To me, that question, I don't really care about which one. They all have their own little differences. They all do the same thing though. And if people are really fighting over, hey, which software, funnel building tool or software should I be using, it's like you're probably stalling on that when you could just be picking one and moving forward, right? But either way, I told him my thoughts. He said appreciate the kind words and feedback. That's so insane, brother. Glad you got some value from it. There was definitely more comments here before. This one went into a long conversation, and there was a couple more guys that ended up in my group from this. This guy was definitely one of them. He's in my group now as well. But basically, complete fire. Thanks, my man. If it ain't fire, what's the point of posting it, right? So true. I'm in the same place you mentioned above. Care if I send you a DM? Go for it. Awesome. So then we probably went to a DM conversation, which I could go look. But I continued to say, hey, I'm actually doing a live stream this afternoon at 2 p.m. where I'm going over and exactly how I build this out for an offer in real time. If you're available and would like to join, let me know. Hell yeah. Cool. I just sent you a request. Once you accept, I'll DM you the link to join. And then I showed, here's the replay if he wasn't able to join live, so I probably posted that the day after or whatever. Thanks, man. This is a good video so far. At the end, I pitch it back to him and overcome injections in real time, and he gave that a like. So anyway, creating engagement, dropping value, opening up conversations, connecting with people, getting them to send me DMs, getting them to raise their hand before I shoot them a request. All things you can be doing. So another great way to deliver value. Now let's show an example of like a value comment where I didn't need to create the post, but just my comment alone gets me a connection. And John, you are now in this group as well. So this is also from the Nothing Held Back group. This is from September of last year. And let me just click all comments again here just to make sure that I actually get mine in there. Why does this do this? I think it's only when I'm running these Facebook live streams, and probably because I have Facebook open in multiple tabs. Either way, it's coming along. That one wasn't too slow, but let's read the post anyway, very, very quick. People who do outreach for their business. Right off the bat, I'm like, hey, this guy's calling out to like my area of expertise. What are your opinions on voice or video messages, when working with direct messages? We haven't got into that yet, and I'm about to get into that, but as my reply back to him, I guess it was lower down. Where's Ray? There we go. So I do cold outreach via Facebook quite well. And voice note is always my first message, I went on to say right there, right? So just very basic answer to them. Nice. If you don't mind me asking, what do you talk about in those voice notes? This is part of the training we're about to go through. But in a nutshell, I talk and keep it almost entirely about the prospect. I'm actually hosting a free live training on my exact process with examples in just under 48 hours. Let me know if you'd like to check it out. Okay, sure. Please send me the link. I'll shoot you a DM with the link or check this post for the details, which actually took him into my group and then through my monetization funnel, and I booked with him later that way. So again, all these are just the most effective ways that I've found that are so easy. Everybody's creating these opportunities for us, putting together these groups, these posts, these ads, right? Or we can be creating some value ourselves, which is always, relevant as well. So there's some more examples on this sheet as well. Whoever, after this is done, guys, I'm going to go drop this link down below the Facebook Live if you want this document. Again, it's nothing crazy on here, just the strategy I'm going through in the examples, but you might find it relevant. And if you're watching here on YouTube, this link will be down in the description below. So that's what I have to cover for the target sniper approach. Damn, that took longer than I thought, but there's no way to get through that any quicker. I actually feel like I omitted a decent amount. And yeah, last time I spent 45 minutes plus on just that, so I get it. Cold DM framework. As I said earlier, I personally always start with a voice note message, basically within this exact framework, and you're going to see the 6-part framework. So I do this all within one message. I'm not saying 6 separate messages, guys. I do this all within one message. I'll actually just do one off the cuff if I have time here. I'll try to get in an example where I just pull up and do one, but this is pretty basic. Or if you want me to send you examples of me doing voice notes, just shoot me a DM. If I don't get the time to go through an example on this call, I'll make sure I do it there. But hey, Bob, nice to make your acquaintance. Hey, man, my name is Ray, and I'm reaching out because it appears we recently became connected here on Facebook. And rather than remain strangers, I actually like to connect with people and build a relationship. So basically, I'm always expanding my network. And hey, Bob, I'm not exactly sure how the Facebook algorithm works, but generally they do a pretty good job of suggesting or recommending people into my network who are like-minded in terms of being entrepreneur-based, creative, people who are business owners, entrepreneurs, etc., etc. And I'm guessing you kind of tick some of them boxes looking over your profile. And then again, I would have their profile up as I'm doing this, and I'd say, it looks like you run Facebook ads or whatever they do. Hey man, I'm curious how long you've been doing that, and how many clients you're currently working with. I'm looking forward to chatting more with you soon, Bob, and look forward to seeing some of your content as well. Chat soon. Boom. And then I, turn off the voice note. So again, my whole thought process there and what I've gotten great results is just keeping that message all about them. The only thing, if you notice, I really talk about myself is to introduce myself and why I'm reaching out, just to dispel any, oh, I'm about to be pitched something, or, oh, do I even know this guy, or why is he reaching out, or is he real, right? These are all the things people are thinking nowadays in the marketplace before or when they accept a connection request. Is it spam? Is it a bot? Is he going to pitch me something? Is he even going to add value to my network? Is he just here to sell me, right? All those things. So I keep it all about him after that. Again, why am I reaching out? We just got connected and I'm always looking to expand my network. Now, personally, guys, I do know how the Facebook algorithm works, but when you say that, it just becomes very relatable. And they're like, yeah, man, I don't really know how it works either. But I'm glad we got connected, right? And then, hey, so you kind of tick some of them boxes. I'm curious how long you've been doing that. I'd love to hear a bit more about what you're working on right now, how many clients you're working with, whatever. And I always leave it with, chat soon, man, and look forward to seeing some of your content moving forward. Boom. That way, whether I am or not, they're like, oh, this guy's really intent about seeing my posts and my content. He's actually somebody valuable to add to my network. And as a byproduct of that, and by human nature, because I kept it all about him and asked questions about him and what he's doing, usually when his reply back is going to be, hey Ray, I feel like I'm talking all about myself now. Hey, I'd love to learn a little more about you. I mean, I really appreciate your outreach and how you went about that. I'd love to hear a bit more about what you do. So there's no kind of awkward, where do I transition or how do I pitch my offer? I just, oh, cool. Yeah, thanks for asking. Well, I've been online for a few years and I'm the co-owner of a few companies. I really help people in the aspects of marketing, sales, and, paid ads. Those are really my areas of expertise. Actually, now that you mentioned it, you mentioned running Facebook ads. Are you currently using a data provider for that? Or are you still using the native, meta targeting parameters that they give you access to within their platform? And then I can transition the conversation and go from there, right? So that's a very simple overview of that. Again, I'll try to bring one up and do one here quickly. I wanted to have time to walk you through a few of the DM conversations as well. And then lastly, I talk about the group monetization and funnel. Now, in this case, I use Facebook group, but you can basically do this in any group, right? You should have a membership question strategy. You should have a SOP for accepting new members. You should have a welcome post or a yes post that you're tagging new members in, and I'll make that all make sense. And then a DM outreach approach for the new members, which I can walk you through, and I have all of those. But just going back into Facebook, and let's just go. I'm just going to go into my group here really quickly, so let me exit that out. Let's just go to Facebook Home. Yeah, I think it's just Facebook runs slow when I already have it open in another tab, and I have it open in another browser for my DM conversations already loaded up. So cool, now that I go in here, let me go into my group. And then let's first look at membership questions, the first thing I talked about there. So I set these up in a pretty strategic way. Number one, I am trying to gauge the sophistication level or how established the business is. So my first question, hey, every week we have in-depth live streams to focus solely on implementation. Where are you at in your journey so we can send you the free relevant guide, the relevant free guide based on your answer. So under case 5K starting out, 5 to 10K want to go beyond, 20K looking to scale hard. That lets me know kind of newcomer, beginner, entry level, mid-level, novice, had some success but hasn't scaled past 10K yet, somewhat established, looking to scale hard. The way I message this person is going to be different based on each level. So that helps me really isolate and identify that. our question two is usually a trade-off for information, whether we're gathering to grow an email list, SMS list. Hey, what's your best email so we can send you over the free implementation guide above, live stream invites, replays, and bonus resources solely for our group members. They'll give me the email. Lastly, we've generated 100 million plus for our clients and did 1.6 million cash collected in 12 months teaching the PDOCS method. Would you be interested in fast tracking your own implementation and scale your business as quickly as possible? That's what we call our yes question, our yes post. Anyone who clicks yes to this, once we invite them into the group, we have a post, which you guys may or may not know. There's a video. You probably scroll 5 or 10 posts down in my group right now, and you'll see it, 60 some odd comments. That is my welcome post. Hey, you just joined the group. It has a video welcoming people, telling them how to get the most value, what problems we solve, how we solve them, and how we can help them, right? So that locks them right in. So let me go into a new member request. And I also, normally I do this on my phone, so just so I don't waste the opportunity and I go through the whole process, I want to bring it up on my phone at the same time, because it's harder to do all the screenshot stuff. I mean, you could do it on laptop. We all know that, but it's just easier to do it on my phone. So I'm going to do it on my phone as I explain it here. So I go in the group and I see my new member, click on member request, just like I did here, and I see Camille RG. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot the answer to his questions before I ever accept them. So I see all his answers here. I just took a screenshot. Now I'm going to look over a few things. 2 mutual friends, yada, yada, yada. This thing I'm always going to do first before I ever go approve anybody is number 1, screenshot. Number 2, I'm going to go view his profile and send him a friend request. So now I know we're connected directly, as well as, he's a member in my group. So look over these, screenshot the answer, accept as friend, go through the answers, 5 to 10K. So he's already had some sales and validated his offer in some capacity, gave me his email, answered yes to the yes question. Now I can approve him. Now what I would do is I would go, oops, I wanted to go back into the main, I went back to main Facebook, back into my main group. And again, I would do this in my phone, but I'm just going to show you really quickly just to go through the steps. I know the video. So this is my welcome post right here, 64 comments. So, and I have copy that already goes here. So I'm going to show you exactly what I do here. Again, it's much easier through my phone, but I can't screen share and show you it all, and I just want to kind of do it in real time if it wants to load and cooperate. Oh, I still have my broken headphones. That was when my dog broke, in this video I'm looking at, this was when my dog, I remember, stepped on it and broke the headphones, and I was waiting for my new ones to come in. Yeah. Classic Ray. Come on, load here. Either way, I have copy already built out for all my new members, so I just tag their name in it, apply the copy, and tag them in the post. That way, now they've been accepted in my group. Their name has been tagged right under the post that they commented yes to that has the calls to action, right? So if he wants to book a call with me, this tells him all about exactly what we do, who we work with, the value they can get, and we have a call to action in there. But again, I don't know why this isn't loaded. Facebook's just being a little finicky. But you guys can go look at that. I mean, it's very cut and dry. All those comments are pretty much exactly the same. Some are done by me, some are done by one of my team members or appointment setters, but we tag them in there. So again, when I invite people into my group from other avenues I talked about, like the welcome post I led with, a lot of times that conversation is when I reach out to them, hey Bob, hey, I see you're in the Nothing Held Back group, and I just wanted to connect with you because I'm always looking to expand my network. I've been a member of that group for a couple of years. Man, they provide a lot of great value, and that's a great group. Hey, I have a bit smaller, more intimate group where I think I provide a bit more value and live training specific to what you're looking to do based off your niche and industry. Let me know if you're interested. It's absolutely free. Or here's the link below. I'd love to have you as a member inside. So my first message is nothing hard, call to action, nothing book a call, nothing watch my training. Just, hey man, it looks like you're looking to join groups and get more value and knowledge. I have a smaller, little more intimate group that I think that provides a bit more value. We'd love to have you in our community as well. Here's the link, right? And that gets him in here. Once he comes in, answers membership questions, gets put into the funnel, so on and so forth. So you can kind of see how that all plays out. And then, yeah, let me go into a couple of the Facebook DM conversations, and then I'm going to go back and check if there was any more comments and questions. So let's go bring up the other browser I already had open. And okay, here's one. Now, a lot of these times, in many cases, because I'm creating content very often, you guys probably see if you're already connected to me, my timeline, my story. There's content, my YouTube, school communities. I'm running ads on multiple platforms. So a lot of times people are reaching out to me. Hey Ray, I just come back with hey man, because if somebody just reaches out to me like that, I give them back kind of what they gave me. How are you? Hope you're good. Thanks for responding. I wanted to ask you a question about the data scraper project you responded to. And I was a little confused because I was like, data scraper project I responded to, not likely. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, oh, one of our ads, you mean? He misunderstood our ad. We're not a data scraping company. Audience Lab is a data provider with our own super graph. And we could talk more about that. I'm not here to get into that too much. But I was like, oh, one of our ads, you mean? Yes. Do you use it? Yes, I do. Okay, cool. I wanted to talk to you. Can you shoot me a text? Now, depending on where you're at in your business, normally I probably would text him. But, I have reps and team, and this guy's like very entry level. He just saw one of my ads. So at this point, I know I really need to educate a little bit. So, basically, he said, no, the system itself, there should be another message in there. I'm not sure why I'm seeing it. But I basically said, hey man, yeah, I mean, I'm happy to answer any questions. I don't really have the time to hop on a call, and I'm not sure what different like text is from what we're doing here. But what's your question about? And then he said, like, no, the system itself. I wanted to get it also, wanted to ask how it's working for you. Hey, this workshop I ran live less than 1 week ago explains quite a bit about how it works, and in the description of this video has all the info if you'd like to book a demo call with my team and find out more. And he just hearted it. So now I can educate. He said he would like to get it. He wanted to build an agency around data. There's all the information on how to book with my team rather than me going ahead and just doing that there. Let me bring up a couple other examples. So of DM conversations. And then, again, not always will people be reaching out to me. I mean, in many cases, people are reaching out to me, and not every case am I just doing cold outreach, is what I meant to say. When I first started, I initiated all the outreach. As you get more established and have, again, content and videos and ads running, people start to reach out with you, which is even better. That's what we want. But I'm always doing a combination of the two. But this one's just, hey, Raymond, I want to thank you so much for making your Audience Lab recordings available. I always try to watch them as I can't attend live because I'm at work. I'm very interested and started with your program, but I wanted to ask a couple questions. My first question is, can I pull a list of network marketing or people interested? Hey, I appreciate you saying so, John. And to answer your question, yes, you can. That's awesome. I wonder if there's any way how to determine how big the audience is. And I just wanted to confirm the incubator comes with X, Y, and Z. That's also correct. Yes, sir. Should be able to join next week. Do you or Phil have any access to GHL where you can give discounted members or anything like that? I think I answered his question in a voice note. And then he said, hey, one more thing. Don't want to bother you too much, but I was wondering if there's any way to find out roughly how many network marketers I would have access to. I came back saying nationwide. He said, yes. I'll try and I can see if I can look it up when I get a chance. You caught me after I'm done for the day. I cut out early on Fridays to pick up my daughter from school. Okay, no problem. I really appreciate your help. Just let me know later. Cool. And I told him it depends on your intent. Not sure exactly what it is you're looking for, but without intent, just under the term network marketers, I can get over 100,000 profiles on that list. Wow, that's awesome. My intent was someone looking to join the network, but I'm not sure if that's an intent I can find. Basically, thank you, sir. So he ended up joining our platform, and he's a client. So these are a couple examples of, just my flow in messenger conversations. You don't need to be super pushy. A lot of times, and what I always say is in my conversations, however I'm approaching it, I like to leave like a breadcrumb trail and make sure they're willing to take action and actually go through a resource or do this or get back to me on a certain day. I usually won't just say, hey, book a call, for a couple reasons. Number one, that's a hard call to action. I usually don't like to do that. I usually like to educate a little more and make sure people actually know what the product is or what the solution is or what the results and outcomes are before I book them into the process. That way they're not just hopping on a call with my sales team saying, hey, I saw an ad, I don't really know anything. How does this work for me? That's a lot for a sales guy, rather than somebody that's been educated, that's been through the VSL, that's been through, a YouTube training or tutorial specific to what they're looking for, and then come back and book. Right, so you'll see that with a lot of my messaging. Let me bring up one more example here. Then I'm going to bring up a couple poor messaging examples, which I think I did on a recent live stream, but I just want to show you again. So this was Duran, just reaches out to me out of the blue. I remember his comment now on one of our ads. So he saw one of our ads. Hey, want more info on using Audience Lab? And of course, when I see somebody engage on my ads, I shoot them a friend request. By doing so, they get my friend request, and then they realize that in my bio, I'm a co-owner of the company they just dropped a comment under. They reach out to me in many cases, and I say, I can help with that, LOL. Hey, by the way, I have a one-time free workshop going on today in 5 hours that would really give you the most info possible. Here's how to register. So basically, this is a situation where you provide leads to companies. I left him a voice note saying exactly what we do and who it's for. Great. How much is it? How much is it to get access to the product? I'm sold. So basically, from a cold, I can't say cold. It's warm because he commented on our ad and he let off saying he wants more info on how to use it. So not completely cold, more warm, but from a brand new conversation of I have no relationship or engagement prior to this. Cold in that sense only, not necessarily a cold lead, but a cold conversation nonetheless, starting from scratch. Right? I reply with one message. I drop the link in the video to the first message, and then one voice note, and he comes back saying, how much to get access? I'm sold. Right? So I start talking about price. Yeah, that's our package, yada, yada, yada. Hey, this workshop I ran live less than 1 week ago explains quite a bit about the platform, the solution, everything. All right, I'm going to take you up on your offer. I'm close to having the budget I need to sign up. And then, that's where the conversation went from there. So again, those are some of the examples of people reaching out to me. I don't know if I have time. I'm not going to have time. I have to cut this off very shortly. And I want to get back to checking the messages. So if anyone wants to hear some of my voice note strategy and example, I went through the whole framework and it's on this document, and the document will be in the comments below on Facebook, will be in the description below on YouTube. Like, subscribe, yada, 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 which I never say, but I've started to say a few more times. Don't think it really makes a difference. I just kind of find it kind of funny because that's everybody's shtick on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I barely ever do that. Sometimes I throw it in more jokingly. But yeah, so the link to that document and the framework will all be down below there. DM me if you want some examples of the voice note directly, where I'll either send you one or forward you a copy of some good ones that I've done. And what I noticed with that, one last thing really quickly on the voice notes, is not only do I get a high reply rate with voice note, even saying the exact same thing in a text message and a voice note, I get a high reply rate of about 12 to 16% through quite a few. That might not seem like a jump, but that's a big percentage of actually getting replies. Jumping up from 30% to 45% of replies to your messages is huge, or whatever that 15% jump is. More importantly, I've noticed the morale and the flow of the conversation is just so much more upbeat when I send that voice note. And again, happy to show you some of the examples of things people say back to me. They come back giving me a 2 or 3 minute voice note about their whole story, their experience, where they're at in their life, all the information I need to really further the conversation. So that's a great approach. I'm just going to show you 1 or 2 examples of what I call poor outreach, what not to do, and what a lot of other people are doing. Is this the right one? Yeah, so this is one of them, and I went through it recently, right? Hello, Raymond. Pleased to connect. I'm Abdul, CEO of Organic Media, a startup supporting appointment setting professionals. How's your current system performing? Are you or your team hitting objectives? Yes, we are. Then he goes on to send me a checklist of daily actions, basically a lead magnet, and his calendar link. So I tell him we are already hitting our KPIs, and he comes back with these stupid call to actions and value things like, I provide those things in conversations, very rarely, if ever, in a second message, and I don't do it without permission or just sending it when nobody asks me for it. So I don't like that. And then I didn't say anything back. He says, book anytime feasible in the calendar. We're almost there. As a prospect in this case, putting myself in a prospect shoes, almost where? What is he even talking about? I don't need help. Like, what I talk about is stereotyping your profile, looking your prospect's profile, looking it over, understanding them, their sophistication level. All that stuff's important. Does he not know that I run a company called DM Center Academy, where I do appointment setting professionals? I train them, I place them. So, and he's supposedly a CEO of Organic Media, meaning he does organic outreach. This is one of the poorest methods I'm seeing. So, this guy has all the red flags of somebody I don't want. And then he comes back, a day or two later after I ghost him. So, March 22nd, hey, still with me, mate? And I said, why would I still be with you? This is an awful outreach approach with no appeal. And you're supposed to be an organic media company, yet you don't understand outreach? Good luck with that approach. Funny how he had nothing to say back, right? Now, if he was, hey man, I am a validated company, I am legit, he would have come back and proved me wrong, right? Or he could have said, thanks for the insight. What would you do to change it? And could try to get better. But he didn't do that either. So he's just relying on this BS outreach approach. This is what I talk about, quality over quantity. He could send 50 to 100 of these a day. He's going to get far less results than I'm going to get with 15 friend requests and 10 new DMs a day with my approach. So that's some of the big differences in just breaking that down. We'll go through one more example. I don't even know if I replied to this guy. I think I just left him ghosted. Yeah, I did. But like this approach, guys, like if you're doing this, please stop. Just think about it and think about some of the things I've talked about, or DM me and I'll give you some more custom approach to what I would say in your offer. But hey, Raymond, how's your days going? Helped tech, data, and tech SaaS companies like yours to scale. Even worked with Fortune 500 companies and have 4 years experience working with SaaS companies. Let's connect and discuss on how we can scale your business. I'm like, you don't even know anything about my business. You don't know how far scaled I am. You don't know who I'm already working with. You didn't ask me anything. You know, what I like to do in a conversation, guys, is really assess where they at, where they trying to get to, and what's stopping them from getting there. And then I can give some insight or recommendations or suggestions. This guy knows none of that, and he's already trying to say, hey, let's discuss on how we can scale your business. I find that poor outreach and nothing that's going to ever convert me or intrigue me to click. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that doesn't move the needle for me. Now, if he said, hey, I'd love to know where you're at, where you're trying to get to. Hey, we're currently at 5 million a year, looking to get to 10 million a year. What's been the biggest challenge with that? Well, I think it's been this and that. Hey, I've helped dozens of companies scale from 5 to 10 million a year like yours. Would you like some recommendations and suggestions on how they've done it? Right? Would that approach appeal to you guys more? I know it would to me, which is why I just said it. So that's another example. So yeah, I gotta hop off. I'm really short on time, unfortunately. Let me go back and just check one more time for comments, questions, which I can answer or read really quickly. And then I got to get moving to my next thing. Guys, if you hopped on late, this replay should be playing in Facebook for about 30 days. I believe they go and delete all my live streams after 30 days now. But it'll also be uploaded on my YouTube channel, which if you don't already have, reach out and let me know, and I will get that over to you so you can check it out. And I'll have more goodies linked below in YouTube, but within Facebook here shortly after the call, I'm going to go drop the link to the sheet I covered today here in the comments. Voice notes are something you keep mentioning, and I remember us talking about how much it's personal and disarming. Yeah, great points. It seems to be something people respect. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. It's not even, again, I get a higher response rate and open rate and reply rate, all those things, but it's more about the morale that you get from people, and they come back like, oh my God, thanks for the outreach rate. That's so much different than just, hey, I saw you on Facebook, let me pitch you my stuff. Like people appreciate the genuine connection, right? Audio also proves I'm not a bot. Yeah, great point. Great point. So, guys, thank you for the engagement, the comments. JP, hopefully we'll see you on the client call tonight. I know I missed that last week due to being ill, and I know we have some stuff to catch up on, so my apologies there. And, guys, anything that I talked about or mentioned that you want more info about, more questions, or, want to ask me how to work with me a little closer, feel free to shoot me a message. I won't reach out and bite. I'm pretty approachable, and I will see you guys on the next live stream that we run. All right, guys, I got to hop off here for today, and ending it now. We'll catch you next time.